What's up, paintball enthusiast? First of all, thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn more about playing competitive or tournament style paintball, make sure you like and subscribe to our page, and we'll be posting more content like this weekly. Dusty with DBS here. On this episode of Tips and Tricks for Paintball, I'm going to show you guys how to kind of fit your setup, how long you want your tank to be, and how you can kind of hold your gun to have a little bit more success with consistent shooting and more success in your gunfight. So let's dive right into it. All right, so first thing when we're talking about gun setups here is we want to make sure that we end up having the right length tank. This is not a perfect science, but there's definitely preference to it. And the general rule of thumb is when you grab your tank, you want it to come to about your elbow crease. So this is the tank. This is an HK68 Alpha Air. It comes a little short of my elbow crease. So when I go to hold this gun, it feels a little bit too short where the gun's like kind of stacked up in my face. I don't have enough room to operate. And then also for break shooting, when I whip my gun back, it feels a little bit short where I don't have a great swing on it. So let's look at a couple more. Here we have the Alpha 77. This is a longer tank, so a little bit bigger than the 68 we just saw. These are traditionally a little bit smaller than like the Ninja 77s and some of the older 68s. And so essentially with this one does come to about my elbow crease, just a hair shorter. But as you can see, when I hold the gun, feels a little bit more consistent. I can hold it a little bit tighter with one hand and even play with one hand if I needed to. But with this one, it's still a little bit shorter than my preference. Last one we're gonna grab, this is a Ninja 77 tank. This is my actual personal setup. You'll notice with this one, it actually is a little bit longer than my elbow crease. I really like this fit because it means when I squeeze my gun, I can hold it nice and tight. I can play pretty much with one-handed. And then when I want to whip it back off the break, I have a really consistent swing and I can squeeze my gun really tight and whip it up and get it on target. So that's how we're going to go about fitting our tank. And again, there is some preference to that. There is no exact science, and you can also get reg spacers. So if you like a certain size tank, but you want it longer, you can get a spacer also. So that's fitting your tank. Now, let's talk about how we actually hold inside our gun. So when we're holding our gun, one of the biggest things that I want to make sure that people understand is most of the time you want to actually have your head outside of your gun, like so. You want to have it so your nose is essentially lined up with the back of your gun and you're looking right down the outer edge of the barrel so that when you're shooting your paintballs, you can see where they're going. You can also see the paintballs coming back at you without having your gun tilted out and exposed. And again, you can do the same thing when you switch hands by looking right down the outside of the barrel, tracking paint as it comes in and tracking paintballs as they come out. It'll also take and make your barrel more square to your eyes. You'll have an easier chance of shooting straight, where if your gun is racked out to the side very far, you're actually off center and your eyes are no longer square to your target. So that's how we're going to side our marker also.